Tro, thank you very much for that insight and for joining us and taking the time here on NewsX World. And of course, you can follow us here on the channel for all your Russia-Ukraine updates. But next, we move over to North America for our next update. And US President Donald Trump has said the United States and Canada will not restart trade talks. This comes a week after he called off trade negotiations with the country over an advertisement aired by the Canadian province of Ontario. Let's take a listen in to what Trump said.
Oh, but I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But, you know, what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial. Because it was a false commercial. You know, it was the exact opposite. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs. And they tried to make it look the other way. And he did apologize, and I appreciated it. We had a great dinner, you know, with other countries, as you know. And I think we have a very good relationship, personally. I think that what they did was wrong, but he apologized.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney agreed to visit China after meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the APEC summit. Carney has also warned that the era of the rules-based trade is over and that Canada would expand trade beyond the United States. Okay, we're now joined by Shruti Dasgupta. She's an international affairs expert and she joins us live from the Indian capital of New Delhi. Shruti, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. President Donald Trump has declared that the United States and Canada will not restart trade talks, citing a provincial ad in Ontario as the trigger for such a move. Why do you think this ad prompted such a response from the US government? Canada, one of the United States' most loyal trading partners. The trade negotiations are done. What are your thoughts?
Greetings, Thomas. Thank you so much for inviting me. What I understand is this is not just a retaliation against Canada, it is also against the senators that are voting against Trump and his tariff policies in Senate. It's the third time I think they have passed a resolution that shows that state that they do not stand with Trump and his tariff terror, and that kind of, I guess, pinches him because to pass that particular vote, a few of the Republicans have also voted against him. I think there are 4 of them that have voted against him, and which shows that he's losing favor within the Republican Party as well, and people are ready to push back. And this is his way of showing that he still controls the narrative around how trade policies regarding USA needs to be conducted. Also, it kind of feeds into the MAGA system, that is his core voter base, where he is a larger than life figure per se, and if he doesn't want to forgive, the other person has no choice but to continue to stay on his knees and grovel. And despite a decent dinner conversation they had during the APEC summit and Carney apologizing for an advertisement, Trump still continues to hold a grudge. So it's a ego boosting move, I guess, as well as voter base appeasement, as well as a warning to those in the Senate that keep passing resolutions that condemn his tariff policies.
Okay, Shruti. Of course, the United States' second most prominent trading partner is indeed Canada, and number 1 for Canada is the United States, overwhelmingly dominant with 77% of Canadian exports in 2023 going to the United States. Obviously, we saw that meeting with President Xi Jinping and Mark Carney in South Korea. Carney has now agreed to go to China next year at some point at both leaders' convenience. How might this tariff policy, of course it was announced back in April, but we're still, of course, feeling the effects of it. How might this tariff policy affect trade alliances long-term for the United States, especially, of course, with Canada, one of the United States' long-time major trading partners, the second most important trading partner in the most powerful economy in the world?
Well, I think it shows that, as you said, the rules-based order is gone. And it also kind of helps the world understand that tariff policy is just by decent negotiations or trying to understand the US point of view of it would not kind of benefit any nation. because then they can easily be withdrawn. Any deal can stand cancelled if the ego of MAGA voters as well as Trump is hurt. So this kind of creates volatility in the market as well as in the policies of a nation. You are no longer catering to the needs of USA, you're catering to the ego of one particular human being who has been given the most powerful mandate of being the president of United States and having the popular vote as well as the houses. So it shows people that if you bow down to Trump and his policies, he is going to continue to suppress. Canada was one of the first few who came back with a very happy reduction in tariff and a trade deal on the bloc. But lo and behold, just one advertisement and everything's back to square one, and he's refusing to negotiate again, which shows that you cannot depend on Trump and his regime. You have to find alternative ways, alternative markets, and it is why I guess Carney is willing to look towards east, towards China, and probably India as well, to ensure that his nation, although heavily dependent on exporting to USA, has other markets and their access so that it doesn't suffer long term. He will probably try and solve this particular knot in the diplomatic tensions that it has created, but he will also ensure that the basic necessities, needs are met, and his particular market does not go down the spiral every time Trump throws a temper tantrum.
Yes, Shruti Dasgupta, do stay with us as we have further news updates coming our viewers' way. But this time we move to West Asia, where we move, of